Scarlett is back, and this time around, she has finally realized that playing undercover with someone like Storm Shadow is only to her detriment. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are lost in the sauce, go check out my Scarlett playlist. It will be linked below. Now, let us begin. Scarlett had just rendezvoused with Storm Shadow and Jinx at the other building called Sato 3, and she had watched as a literal glowing blade which can cut through anything was handed to the most dangerous sword wielder in this universe, Storm Shadow. She could see it in his eyes. He just wanted to cut something. Thankfully, the opportunity presented himself because the swordman was foolish enough to attack him. He split the swordsman's sword, yes, but he also split the swordman himself. This sword was amazing. It was such a disgusting way to go that Scarlett, who is no stranger to death, had to look away. Thankfully, Jinx was there, and she was the voice of reason. They had to leave this place. Cobra was coming. Sadly for them, Cobra was already here. With their assault helicopter, they unleashed a rocket launcher straight for the hotel, and Jinx and Scarlett knew they had to run. But the rocket was quicker, and it struck true. The building came crashing down. Scarlett, in a daze, buried beneath the rubble, got up and started looking for everyone, calling out to them in Japanese. But Storm Shadow wasn't down. He managed to cover her mouth and tell her silence. Look around you, Gaijin. We are surrounded. We have to jump. Scarlett was confused. We're jumping? She didn't know this part of the plan. That is when she put two and two together. She was never meant to survive. 2 parachutes were available for just Storm Shadow and Jinx. She was pissed off and she let everyone know it, but Storm Shadow didn't give a damn. You jump or you die. So she made the smart choice, and it was perfectly timed because the Cobra Commander was here and he was tracking energon, which gives us the idea that the thing that makes that sword so strong is pure, unrefined energon. Pulling out his gun, he started to attack, taking shot after shot. Storm Shadow had the blade, so he wasn't giving it up, not for anyone's life. He wore his parachute, and he leaped, leaving Scarlett and Jinx to fight their own battle. But now was not the time. They had to move quickly. So Scarlett pushed Jinx. Jinx had the parachute. She was the only saving grace, because Scarlett trusted her sister. She jumped alongside her, and in the middle of the air, as they tussled, she had put all her faith in her sister catching her. Thankfully, she did. Thankfully, they landed safely. The only problem was Storm Shadow was nowhere in sight. Well, he was there. They just didn't see him. He let them know. Location 3 hours. And then he was gone, like a fucking puff of smoke. He was a ninja for real. But so were all 3 of them. So they broke apart. She left her sister because she had another mission to complete. But that mission will require her to blend. So she put her sword away and managed to steal some clothes so she could go undercover and lose her tail. She had to be sure the Arashikage and Storm Shadow didn't put anyone to follow her, because everything had come to this point. Her original mission was to go undercover, make contact with Jinx, and get intel from her. Her mission was already complete. She had the intel already in hand, but something was wrong. First things first, she gave Snowjob the intel she had collected from Jinx, explaining further that Jinx cannot come out. She is too deep right now. But the problem was, she wanted to stay with her sister. She was supposed to be pulled out. Her job was complete. They had the intel, but this was her sister. Snowjob must have realized there was no point arguing, because he said, alright, if you ever need an extraction, hit me up. So she thanked him, and they parted ways because she had another person to catch up with. Right on time, at location 3, the halo dropped. The Arashikage were here to pick them up, and they were ready because this mission was a success. They had gotten the sword, and as they got home, they presented the sword to the Hard Master, Storm Shadow, on his knees. He proposed the fabled sword, and the Hard Master was impressed, but he gave it back to Storm Shadow in front of everyone, because it wasn't his to keep. This sword was going to lead their clan to a new level of strength. Before Scarlett and Jinx, Storm Shadow raised a sword and screamed for the Arashikage, and she saw, again, a flash of absolute terror. She knew this was a mistake. Even Jinx had to tell her, chill the fuck out, because you were giving him killing eyes. So she controlled herself because a new darkness was coming, and she had to be prepared for it. On the other side of the world, though, the G.I. Joe has started to form, led by the amazing Duke, an ultimate soldier who was on the run. But now, he was chosen to lead a team of very capable individuals. This ain't your daddy's G.I. Joe. This is better, because in this world, the Baroness is part of the team, and Scarlett is part of the Arashikage. And I am freaking excited for it. The members will include Rock and Roll, a demolitions expert that's wild as hell, Stalker, a literal killing machine who has a cool head, Cover Girl, who literally builds tanks for fun. She is that good. Clutch, no better driver in the service, and he is not bad with his hands. And then we have the Baroness. The Baroness is the Baroness. If you know, you know. Get ready